Let's discuss concealed carry. Here's 4 handguns. This is a Smith & Wesson 342 38 Special that holds 5 cartridges. This is a Springfield Armory XDS 9mm with a 3.3-inch barrel. This is a single stack gun. This holds 8 plus 1. This is a Springfield Armory subcompact 16 plus 1 9mm with a 3-inch barrel. And this is a Springfield Armory 5.25-inch barrel 19 plus 1 9mm. When people carry a weapon for self-defense in reference to concealed carry, there's many opinions on what should be carried. But what I'm concerned with is the general public. The vast majority of people that have a concealed weapons license usually don't carry a gun. It's just a fact. And most of the time it's because the gun is uncomfortable to carry. Especially when you come to with somebody that has a smaller figure, like a female. If you have a female that has a 24-inch waist, likes to wear close-fitting clothing, and they now try to carry a full-size pistol, that's never going to work. So if carrying a gun is the most important thing about having a concealed weapons permit, which gun is the best to buy? In my opinion, it would be the smallest and most lightweight weapon system, like this Smith & Wesson 342 38 Special. They also make a 340, which is a .357 Magnum, and a 640, which is about twice the weight at about 20 ounces, which is stainless steel. But let's look at these firearms and see why people probably carry this gun more likely than others. This gun is aluminum. It weighs about 11 ounces unloaded. This gun is a single stack 9mm. It weighs about 23 ounces. This is a double stack 9mm subcompact gun, which weighs about 27 ounces, and this is a full-size pistol, 19 plus 1, unloaded, that weighs about 29 ounces. Now, depending on what bullet size you have in each one of your bullets, from 115 to 147 grains in a 9mm, or the different grain variations in a 38 Special or 357 Magnum, let's just say for a common denominator that each round represents about half an ounce. This carries 5 rounds, thus that would be about 2.5 ounces. This carries 20 rounds, so that would subsequently come out to about 10 extra ounces of weight in this handgun. Now, what is the benefit of all these weapons? In a sustained gunfight, of course, you're going to want a full-size pistol with extra magazines. And a lot of people think that way. But those people are usually people who take the time to do a great deal of training with their firearm. The vast majority of the general public gets almost no training. And they aren't thinking of a sustained gunfight. They're just thinking about having a weapon for defense. The FBI puts out a statistic that most personal shootings in self-defense, 80% of them are less than 8 feet. And all of these weapons that would work at that capacity. But in a defensive shooting, there is a chance that you'll be hands-on. That means that people grab a hold of you or you're in a wrestling match. And that's what I want to discuss between the difference of a hammerless revolver and a semi-automatic pistol. Now, if you get in a scuffle with a semi-automatic pistol, there is a lot of chances of malfunction. If the front of this gun is pushed against the body in reference to a contact wound, it can push the gun out of battery by slightly depressing the gun forward, pushing the slide backwards, which will make the gun not fire. Also, if the magazine release were to be hit in the scuffle and the magazine falls out, this becomes a single shot firearm. There are also other models that will not even fire if the magazine comes out of the gun. In reference to that also, even if you get a round off, if the gun comes in contact with clothing or a part of the body, if the slide touches that, it can malfunction, again making this a single shot weapon. Now, if you look at a hammerless revolver, especially this lightweight weapon, you're going to find that with no hammer on there, there's nothing for it to snag on. And though it only has 5 rounds in it, those 5 rounds pretty much are always going to fire. It's much harder to hit the cylinder release and push the cylinder out of this gun to unload it. Chances of that happening are much less than this button getting depressed and losing the magazine in a fight. Now, because not carrying a gun is the most deadly part of carrying a concealed weapon, which gun do you think is more likely to be carried by somebody? If it's the fact that the gun is too heavy or too big or too uncomfortable, the smaller, lightweight gun is going to be carried more by the general public than any other weapon system. So in my opinion, if you were to buy one firearm for carrying concealed, it would be one of these lightweight 38 Special or 357 Magnum revolvers. They're very dependable, especially if somebody gets their hands on you, and it's going to give you the confidence you need, mostly because you're carrying that gun every day, as opposed to having a full-size pistol sitting at home in the closet because you're tired of carrying it. Keep safe.